2, 3, 4. Those happy days. Yeah. Hello and good day to you kids, young learners and mathematicians. This is Teacher Joel and I'll be with you in this journey of your math lesson. We will tackle a lesson not involving computations but instead drawings, illustrations. So be ready to join me and learn in visualizing division of fractions. Are you ready? Happy days is all I have today. It is through this lesson video that we can help you understand visualization of division of fractions. The module is divided into two lessons, namely, Lesson 1 divides a whole number by a simple fraction using visual models. Lesson 2 divides simple fraction by another simple fraction using visual models. After going through this module, you are expected to: number 1, identify the first and the second fraction. Number 2, recognize the numerator and the denominator of simple fraction. Number 3, illustrate how to divide the parts of an object exactly. Number 4, count the number of parts that has been divided. Number 5, illustrate how to divide the whole number by a simple fraction using visual models. And number 6, illustrate how to divide simple fraction by simple fraction using visual models. But what do I know? Let's test ourselves with some past lessons. Answer the following questions correctly by choosing the best answer from the given selections. Number 1. If you will divide 150 by 10, the quotient will be blank. A. 10, B. 15, C. 150, D. 1,500. The correct answer is letter B, 15. Number 2. Which of the following is an example of a whole number? A. 9, B. 4/5, C. 1 and 1/16, D. 2/3. The correct answer is for number 2, the correct answer is letter A, 9. Number 3. Multiplication is the reverse operation of division. This statement is blank. A. True. B. False. C. Irrelevant. D. Sometimes true, sometimes false. The correct answer is for number 3, the correct answer is letter A, true. Next question. For number 4, for the number 1 and 2/3, which could be the denominator? A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. Not given. The correct answer is The correct answer for number 4 is letter C, 3. For the last number, number 5. 25/45 in the lowest term is blank. A. 1/9, B. 1/5, C. 5/9, D. 3/5. The correct answer is for number 5. The correct answer is letter C, 5/9. Nice work, kids. Good job. Now let us proceed to the lesson. Are you ready, learners? Now we have a picture here. Tell something about the picture. The picture is about a lady sharing food to a ragged little boy. She's giving free bread and a drink. Would you like to do the same deed as the lady? Yes. Sharing is caring. When we share, we also care for other people. So now let's divide things to share them equally among its receivers. Dividing in fractional parts, would that be possible? Lesson 1. Dividing whole number to a simple fraction using visual models. Example number 1. Let's share 4 burgers in 1/2 portions. Here are the 4 burgers that we are going to distribute into halves. The equation would be 4 divided by 1/2 equals what number? Wherein 4 is a whole number, the first number of the equation, and 1/2 is a fraction, the second number of the equation. How do we find out? To illustrate whole numbers, we use whole objects like circles, rectangles, squares, and etc. We draw 4 circles for the visual model of the whole number 4. The fraction 1/2 is shown by dividing the 4 whole circle into 2 using a vertical line. From here, we can see that the 4 circles were divided into 1/2 parts. Counting the total number of 1/2 parts derived from 4 now equals to 8 parts. Now we found the correct answer. 4 divided by 1/2 equals 8. You get 8 parts when you divide 4 into half sizes. So that's easy. Great job! Let's have another example. 6 divided by 1/3 is equal to blank. This time, let's use rectangles or horizontal bars as visual models. 6 divided by 1/3, our first number is a whole number 6. So make bars of horizontal bars with 6 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, we use the second fraction, which is a denominator of 3. We are going to slice the bars into 3 equal parts. There you can see that it has divided the bars into 1/3 parts. Let's count the number of 1/3s that we formed from the 6 whole bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A total of 18 1/3 sizes. From there, we have solved the problem. 6 divided by 1/3 is equal to 18. You can have 18 1/3 sizes from 6 whole parts. What if we want to divide less than a whole number to a fraction? Can visual models still find the answer? Lesson 2. Dividing a simple fraction by another simple fraction using visual models. Example number 1. You have 1/3 square pizza divided into 2/5 sizes. 1/3 divided by 2/5 is equal to blank. How are we going to solve this using visual models? Fraction divided to a fraction, example number 1. 1/3 divided by 2/5 equals to what? First, look at the denominator of the first fraction and use this to divide visual model to its visual size. Shade the parts for the numerator of the first fraction. Since 1/3 is the first fraction, and so its denominator is 3, let's draw a square model and put 2 vertical lines or columns to make 3 equal parts for the square. Shade one part to make for the 1/3 size for first fraction. For the second fraction, we use horizontal lines or rows for dividing the visual model depending on the number of the denominator of the second fraction. Since the second fraction is 2/5, the denominator is 5. So we have 5 horizontal bars to divide the square equally. Shading 2 out of 5 bars show 2/5 size of the second fraction. We have 6 parts to fill 1 2/5 size pizza for the second fraction. Next, we go back to the first fraction. We need to find the number of parts using both horizontal and vertical lines in the square. So our 1/3 first fraction has 5 parts shaded after having both horizontal and vertical lines dividing the square accurately. From here, 5 out of 6 parts can only be distributed for the 2/5 sizes, which means 5/6 parts is the answer to the problem already in lowest terms. We count the parts of the first fraction becoming the quotient numerator and parts of the second fraction becoming the quotient denominator. Check lowest terms if needed. If improperly solved, change to mixed fraction. Example number 3. 3/5 divided by 1/4. What would be the answer? We use a rectangular model. First, for 3/5, we have the denominator 5. So, we divide the fractions into 5 parts by using 4 vertical lines. We shade 3 out of it, so we get 3/5. Now, for the next part, use the second fraction. Since the second fraction has 4 in the denominator, we have to divide horizontally the fraction into 4 parts by using 3 horizontal lines. From there, 1/4 has 5 parts. Now we count all the first fractional parts by putting all horizontal and vertical lines. From the picture, the red shows the first fraction parts. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parts. For the second fraction, which is 1/4, we still have 5 parts. 12 as the numerator divided by 5 as the denominator is 12/5, the answer to the problem. Or in lowest terms, 2 and 2/5. You can have 2 5s and 2 remainder. For the mixed number, 2 and 2/5. So 3/5 divided by 1/4 is equal to 12/5 or 2 and 2/5. So we got the correct answer. It's a mixed fraction answer. Okay. Tips to remember. In dividing whole number or simple fractions by a simple fraction using a visual model, number 1, determine the denominator of the first fraction that is intended for the number of columns. For whole numbers, draw whole models as indicated. Number 2, determine the denominator of the second fraction that is intended for the number of rows. For the numerators, the number in the numerator of the first fraction, determine the column parts to be shaded, while for the numerator of the second fraction, determine the row to be encircled. For the final answer, the columns that have been shaded is for the numerator and the rows that have been encircled is for the denominator. Don't forget to reduce your answer to its lowest term if possible. Here are the following activities to do with your module. For lesson 1, divides a whole number by a simple fraction using visual models. Answer what I have learned on page 12. Also answer what I can do on page 13. Assessment on pages 13 to 14. Additional activities on page 15. For lesson 2, divide simple fraction by a simple fraction using visual models. Answer what I can do on pages 24 to 25. Answer also assessment on page 25 and additional activities on page 26. Good luck in answering!
Changing mood, lost the rainfall. I remember you and I with you in the rainfall. I'm kissing me with you in the rainfall. Great clouds of blue, but I guess we're